This is the Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
G'day, Shaun McManus here. On February 24, I'm doing my first ever solo swim in this year's Rotto Swim. It's a 19.7k open water swim from Cop Beach to Rottnest Island. That's, of course, if you go on a straight line. This is my road to Rottnest.
Shorty Mac.
Ross, good to see you again, mate.
Good to see you too. We're going to be talking about sharks this one, and that's because something happened to me yesterday that left me gobsmacked. So you did your Hell Week.
Yes.
10K on Friday and Saturday, and what beach were you swimming at?
Leighton Beach down to about South Cot was the one on Friday, which was Australia Day, the day off for everybody.
Yeah, so when we spoke about this, you just, we had a chat about it. No, there was no shark talk. Nothing that came up. I think at one stage you mentioned you liked having the buffer of a swimmer on your right-hand side. In case there was a shark, they would get done first.
100%. Isn't that nice?
I was at Bowl Park yesterday, and your coach, Kindwin, who was on the podcast, she said to me, I can't believe there was a shark with Shaun swimming. I said, what do you mean? She said during Shaun's swim, a shark went under them. And I was like, are you... Well, obviously she was sure. But you never mentioned this, and you didn't... I told you this morning.
Yeah.
You were unaware of this.
I was unaware of it. I finished the swim and there was a lot of talk on the group chat, right? And there was a picture of somebody and there was a lot of references to a shark apart from the training itself. Yeah. And then there was someone who'd put up a picture of a man wrestling a shark. And I wasn't sure what they were talking about, Ross.
You didn't indicate maybe there was a shark. Did you just think it was shark banter or something like that?
Yeah, I thought it was shark banter. And, I was unaware. I didn't see it. I just kept swimming. So we're in a, there was a lot of us out there swimming, but to me, I didn't pay any attention. Oh, thank God I didn't, mate. I would have packed myself.
Would you have got out? I mean, of course you would have, right?
Would have got out. That's a great question.
Your 7.5Ks and your 10K. Kindwin coach says, yep, there was a shark. It's gone now. I want you to finish. What do you do?
I'm definitely finishing, but I would be scraping the sand. I'll be that shallow. My knuckles would be in the sand. You know, it was funny, actually, because you told me that, and I was speaking to another coach that gives me a hand, Paul Newscombe. He's a lovely guy, and Paul was telling me he was doing the swim on the same day, but he was doing it from Port Beach to Cottesloe, and he said he was swimming along, and he heard people yelling out shark and getting his attention. So he looked up and he could see people yelling out shark.
That's a nightmare. Just that exact situation.
Can you imagine?
Nothing
I
worse.
Can't even imagine it. And then he said he looked down and this huge dark shadow was coming underneath him. And he reckons he hadn't had enough time to think, my last thought is, oh my God, I'm about to get chomped.
Yeah, not a fun.
And then he reckons it went underneath him and kept going, and he believed it to be a dolphin.
Yeah. I mean,
he believed it to be a dolphin.
You're going to think it's a shark no matter what, but then it's...
Oh my God! I said I would have packed. I would have walked on water.
But I guess the good thing is a shark was really close to you. And you're all fine. It's all good. No dramas.
I don't know about no drama, or mainly because I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah.
I've got to tell you though. So once, when was it? I think it might have been last year. So last year I swam. So I do the Port to Pub in a teams event, or every year with Dockers guys. But the same year I did the Rottnest swim in a team as well for Aaron Sanderlands. It was to raise money for the Starlight Foundation.
Yeah, I think I remember this.
Anyway, I was having a go at Aaron the whole time because he was the skipper, and he was. So there's the flotilla of boats that are going from Cottesloe Beach to Rottnest Island. And then Aaron, as the skipper, he decides that there's a strong current. So he reckons that the right idea was to go south of the flotilla, and then the current will pull you into Rottnest Island. So you start out wide and you get pulled in. And I'm going off my head at him. I'm going, I didn't come here to swim to Rotto by myself, you effing this. And I was swearing my ass off at him. And every time I got out of the water, my heart was racing because we were hundreds of metres from anyone. We were just out there doing it ourselves.
So you would have been like the little weakling off the pack, ready to just be
100%
chomped.
So it wasn't until we got to Rotto and we're having a beer back on the boat, he got, and I'm still having a go at him at this stage. Why the F did we been out there, mate? This is the hardest swim I've ever done because I was so exhausted from stressing. And he goes, well, we didn't tell you one thing. So his wife did it with us as well. So I was the swimmer after her.
Yep.
So when Jen jumped out of the water, she didn't tell me. She saw a shark. And then I jump in and I start swimming. And they didn't tell me because they reckon I'd carry on too much.
Well, you would have. Of course you would have.
I would have.
If anyone sees a shark, it is like their duty to inform everyone around them by screaming shark. Actually, I looked up Rotto because I remember in 2018, something to do with the sharks. I looked at what happened with them. I know, and I feel bad saying this. Well, no one got hurt, which is great. So 2018, swimmers were pulled out of the water after a 3 to 4 metre shark was spotted nearby. This is my favourite bit. Surf Lifesaving WA tweeted the shark was, quote, in the swim pack. Just hanging around the swim pack. And then what they did afterwards, after 30 minutes of no additional shark sightings, they're like, yep, hop on back in. You guys are good. So, and I don't know the current exact protocols, but they said after that they implemented, or they have SMS alert systems, and they got the helicopters as well. Or the swimmer before you who sees the shark just doesn't tell you about it.
Which is exactly what Jenny Sandlands did to me. So thank you very much, Jen. I'll never forget that.
Yeah.
The Nathan, Nat and Shaun podcast.
I was saying, because we swam that Hell Week and we're swimming up from Leighton to Cottesloe, which I've now probably done that swim about 4 or 5 times. It's a long way, right? But I'm not too far offshore, and I have this feeling that being, 50 metres offshore, I think maybe would be the distance I'm probably offshore, that everything's going to be okay. But in the back of my mind, I'm also, as you said, that I'm, okay, where is the pack and where am I swimming in conjunction to any other people? Can I swim on the inside? I do feel, though, that a couple of times I've been swimming along with some ladies and I felt like I have to swim. I don't want to.
Like chivalry, like you're walking along the street path and you get nearest to the road?
Yeah. So I've had to swim on the outside.
Yeah.
And I'm cursing the whole way
You're like, oh, mate, this chivalry's going to get me killed.
But the other thing is, the shark thing, everyone thinks about it. Everyone talks to you about sharks. Before Christmas, it was New Year's Eve, right? So I was down south and people put out on the WhatsApp group, we're going to swim the Busselton Jetty. So I went to the Busselton Jetty and I couldn't see the people that were involved in my swim squad. As it turns out, the times were wrong. I was there earlier than them. So I walked up to this group and I said, can I swim with you? And there was a bunch of masters, so they're all the old fellas.
Yeah.
Once we took off, I was miles in front of them. And the Busselton Jetties goes out, like 1,800 metres. So it's the longest jetty in the Southern Hemisphere or something along those lines. So I'm out in the middle of the ocean and I'm panicking. I'm thinking, oh, my God.
By yourself?
By myself.
Yeah.
But up ahead, I could see that there was 3 people and there was, or at least a few other people. So I just bolted as fast as I could. I finally caught up with them and there was 3 ladies. And I get to them and they just happened to stop for a bit of a chat or something. And I said, are you guys swimming around the jetty? And they said, no.
Oh.
And I went, oh. But then there was another group that I just saw a guy on a kayak ahead again, probably another 50, 60 metres. So again, I'm sprinting. And I finally get out the end of the jetty and I'm miles out, obviously. And I caught up to this guy because his goggles kept filling with water.
Yep.
And then obviously when I'm next to them, I'm starting to feel at ease. At least I'm with some people.
Yep.
And it turns out I'd swam around that jetty in record time because all I was doing is... Can you imagine doing a fart leg, right, when you're running around the oval? Yeah. You're just doing these mad sprints because that's all I could do.
But you think your life's on the line, so you really got some gas in you.
Yeah.
So that
was hectic.
So your shark strategy to everyone is to have someone else nearby to sacrifice.
Yes, hopefully. I have thought about... when you take off from the beach, obviously there's going to be a few people around. Do I just ask someone? I know a few people in my squad that I kind of swim around their pace. Do I just say to them in the next little bit, do you want to swim together? Because if you swim with someone, then you feel a little bit better. I guess you can have a kayak on each side.
Yep.
But then you get caught up in the race and then you're off and you're thinking about your own thing and... I don't know, man. It's a stress. It's a stress, Ross. And I actually don't know because... again, picture this, right? So all the training you do, you're going up and down the coast. This time you're going out, which is completely different.
Yeah, you're going over their territory. But there's so many eyes in the water and people looking around in the helicopters. I know I'm getting worried for you, but I'm sure you'll be fine, Shawnee.
I hope so, Ross. Well, we'll see if we do another episode. Yeah, won't we?
Nathan, Nat and Shaun is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.